What's going on, guys? My name is Kinny on YouTube. I go by Kinny Games. Today we got a pretty exciting video. They just released updates or Gridiron Notes for AI schemes, playbooks, and a couple of other things. We're going to walk through those things today, detailing them for Madden 21, and go through some of the changes and give my opinion on them. So without further ado, let's jump into the screen. Okay, so here you have the Gridiron Notes. I'm going to link them all down in the description below in case you're curious about taking a look. But we have playbooks and AI gameplay updates. Now, this is a good thing. We need AIs to play better. This is what gives longevity to things like franchise when you don't have people to play online with all the time. I mean, these are good changes. Hopefully the changes are good. But overall, just the concept of wanting to change these things or upgrade the AI scheme is something that's a good thing. So it says, hey Madden fans, we hope you and your loved ones are healthy and safe, blah, blah, blah. A point of emphasis for the gameplay team going into Madden 21 was improving all elements of our run defense. Good change, EA. It's definitely something we wanted, better run defense. In doing so, we also took time to evaluate and make improvements to other areas such as formation alignment, pass coverage, and playbooks. Playbooks haven't really gotten a major upgrade in a long time, so this is definitely a much needed change. I don't know if they're like different plays and schemes or what it really is, but we're gonna get into it. On offense, we didn't stop with enhanced user mechanics. We also spent time improving AI, specifically clock management, play calling, and adjustments for AI controlled teams. So when you're playing the CPU, all those solo challenges that you just grind out, it might be a little bit tougher with better AI controlled teams, but who knows? Hopefully they can update the solo challenges then too, so you can still grind through them quickly, because otherwise no money spent is going to be really, really tough. A variety of enhancements were made to many of our core play concepts to align with our goal to encourage gamers to dig deeper in their playbooks to counter the AI. QBs and ball carriers that are CPU controlled got a number of behavioral upgrades that we're going to tell you about today. And finally, we're sharing details about adaptive AI and how it will give you a more authentic gameplay experience versus the AI. Sounds good. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Introduce NFL Live Playbooks feature post-launch in Madden 20, which are based on the schemes we see NFL teams execute during the real life season. During the 2019 NFL season, we were able to update the team playbooks with new content. In previous years, these updates would have had to wait until the next year, which is good. I mean, as technology progresses, they should be able to update throughout the year. But NFL Live Playbooks allow for live updates all season long. That's something we also want to see. Gives more variety and gets rid of, really cuts down on a meta breaking into the game, because you can have new metas popping up. And metas can be a bad thing if they don't get patched or changed, whereas if you have a changing meta, that's a good thing. Much of the new playbook content got Madden fans excited, including Kansas City's Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill. I remember the Taysom Hill updates were also really cool when they made like his whole playbook as well. That was a pretty cool update. So that's the kind of thing that they're referring to specifically here for the NFL Live Playbooks. Madden NFL 21, we're increasing the amount of content we're delivering via title updates. As this feature evolves, it will increasingly become the way we add new playbook content to the game. We're already in the process of working on the new playbook content that will bring even more variety and authenticity to our playbooks. One example of this is the New England Patriots. I really hope this is a good update. Patriots recently signed Cam Newton. As a result, we incorporated more plays into the Patriots NFL Live Playbook to account for Newton's unique skill set, which is vastly different than their former QB, Tom Brady. That's a good change, because maybe it won't be so pass heavy. Maybe we'll get a little run heavy, little read option plays in there. Oh, sorry about that. There was a dump truck that drove by. Maybe we'll get some read option plays in there, something to really incorporate Cam Newton as a quarterback into the playbook. While the NFL Live Playbooks will evolve and receive season-long updates, we've also made a lot of changes to our default team playbooks for Madden NFL 21 launch. The first change you'll notice is all the NFL Live updates from the Madden NFL 20 have been added to the... Okay, that's a should-be thing. We should be picking up where we left off at least and raising the bar a little bit. Just like we've done previously, all teams with a new head coach or coordinator will have the playbook content that reflects the schemes of those specific coaches based on research like film study and coach interviews. So they're doubling down on film study, it seems like, but also coach interviews, incorporating that into new offenses or new defenses based on coordinators or coaches. I think that's also pretty interesting. Contrasting example of this is work reflected looking at two teams, Carolina Panthers, Dallas Cowboys. Panthers hired a new coach and overhauled the majority of its coaching staff, so the playbook's quite different than the last season, whereas the Cowboys are a bit of an outlier because they have a new head coach but retain the offensive coordinator. Okay, so all this makes sense. They're basically trying to make it more realistic, fit to new coaches, new coordinators, new player trades, old player trades, upgrades, that kind of concept. So if Cam Newton is playing under a different coach, he might have resemblance of that coach's scheme, but he also might have plays mixed in that will fit his style, which is what the Patriots are most likely going to do. I think that's a good change. According to our research, Dallas plans on keeping the previous offense in place, so their playbook for launch won't look too different. But once the NFL season starts, if the Cowboys add some new wrinkles to their offense that we didn't anticipate, we'll start adjusting those. Again, this is just adding updates throughout the year. So they show some what looks like changes here. I didn't run the Cowboys playbook, so I don't know how different this is, but like that halfback scissors play looks good. So I hope they continue to add new changes throughout the year. That's definitely a plus. Our main goal for defensive playbooks was to make them more unique by focusing on including primary formations that each team uses in real life. That's good. We don't have any variation from defensive playbooks, really only the formations, but we don't get any sort of difference based on personnel or based on players or anything like that. So, for example, a team may be based out of 3-4, but they may not have 3-4 odd in their playbook. Likewise, a team may be based out of 4-3, but not have 4-3 normal in their playbook. Users will have more meaningful choices when deciding on defensive playbooks to use this year. That's a good thing. Defensive adjustments to offensive motion system. Most fundamental element to playing defense is proper alignment, especially when an offense uses motion or flips the play, which was a huge problem in Madden 20. There's so many mismatches or just wrong zones just because your opponent was flipping his play 14 times before the snap. One, it added to an increase in play time, which was just annoying. The games would take forever, and two, it was just unfair. It was cheaty. It didn't make any sense. At the start of the production cycle this year, we identified the area needing significant improvement. The new adjustments to motion system taps into logic we use for defensive auto flip feature. Based on the defensive play call and the type of offensive motion used, defenses will adjust to the change of strength to maintain proper alignments and run fit gap integrity by treating the motion the same as an audible. That's really good. They're adjusting to flip plays and motion plays just the same as the defense would on an audible, which is what we really want to see. Pass coverage. Another goal on the defensive side is bring more balance to man coverage. We first made improvements to press man. Defenders will use more appropriate press man animations that scale per the matchup of the defender's press ratings versus first receiver release ratings. That's good. They should balance out. They should play off each other. It shouldn't just be a press rating. Shouldn't just be a release rating. They should play off each other, cancel out a little bit, do a little bit of addition, subtraction in there, and that's how you get your final result. This allows more animation content in these situations and will for more separation. That's definitely a typo. And will allow for more separation off the line of scrimmage versus outmatched defensive backs. That's a good thing. If you have some no-name slot corner going up against someone that's just insane, then they should be able to get off the line well. Same on the outside, that kind of thing. We also tune man coverage to receivers with higher route running versus defenders man coverage will have a slightly higher chance of winning. Absolutely they should. On any sort of cut or jagged route that they run, they should have a higher chance of getting separation. So that's another good change. These principles also apply to many of the match zone coverages, such as cover 4 quarters and palms versus trips formations. It was always hard to guard trips formations, so that's another hopefully good tweak. Made many subtle improvements to the number of legacy plays for Madden 21. These improvements will encourage users to change up their play calling and execute more plays that you would have avoided in the past. We love variety. We love variety. This is the game. Sounds like the gameplay updates that we've been thirsting for so long, when they focus on adding new features that we necessarily didn't want instead of the features that we did want, but that's neither here nor there. Hashtag fix Madden franchise. We needed gameplay updates. We needed a Madden game that focused on saying, hey, we've gotten the gameplay wrong for the past couple years. This is what we're going to do to tweak and fix that. And that's exactly what they're looking to give here, which is great. That's great. We tuned the speed of many of our handoff animations, so handoffs are the same speed going in either direction. That's good. We also changed how block shedding works defensively in relation to the handoff speeds. Block sheds will be better timed to match the point of the ball when which the ball carrier is out of the handoff animation and deciding which gap to run through. That's a good adjustment. These are probably things that should have been in the game for years, but they weren't. And so I'm going to celebrate the win here. I'm going to look at the positive and say this is a good thing that we're getting them now. Before the snap, we updated animations used for pre-play motion, both for auto motion and manual motions. These new animations will allow players to move realistically and athletically when in transition from one alignment to the other. The motion movements are also contextually appropriate based on the player's position, while considering the type of play and formation in which the motion is used. We added more variety in receiver stance animations. Okay, just more animations there. HB slip screen plays have been adjusted in many areas. At first, the halfback getting a cleaner release on this route while avoiding traffic near the line of scrimmage. Thank the Lord. Hallelujah. Wow, why did that take so long? It's insane to me. But finally, they won't get bumped by their linemen because they shouldn't get bumped by their linemen. We also added functionality for the screen blockers to sometimes block a rusher in the inside gaps before releasing out of the screen so that the QB has enough time to get the pass off versus heavy pressure. Thank God. In addition to halfback improvements to screen passes, another new addition is halfback choice routes, like gun, tray, wide flex. These routes get your halfback involved in the passing game and allow him to make AI-driven decisions on the fly. That's good. I like choice routes. Choice routes, again, allow for more variability. It allows for difference and variation in the play calling on the offense and what actually happens. It's also another way to read the defense, which is good because they'll react differently based on how the defense is, and that can give the quarterback a signal of what defense that the user is in. Even halfback swing routes have been tuned so that the running back is more aware of the sideline. Thank God, and he'll turn up the field after a catch, because in Madden 20, you couldn't run flat routes, you couldn't run swing routes. They would just run straight to the sideline and go out of bounds, and it was really frustrating. Wide receiver screen plays, you'll notice that receivers can immediately get up the field. That's good. QBs can now get the ball out much quicker. That's good. Speaking of RPOs, we continued polishing them after introducing last year. Some of the RPO peak plays, the running back will take more of an inside track because the path of departure makes the weak side running game away from the tight end more powerful. Another good change. AI play calling and clock management. Now this will affect a lot of those offline franchises. It should make them more dynamic. It should make them more interesting, and give it a little bit of variation, because if you play offline franchise for 2 to 3 seasons, it gets really, really repetitive, besides the behind the scenes stuff where you're changing your team and that kind of thing, which is a lot of the features that we don't have and that we do want. Play calling and clock management was something they spent a lot of time refining. AI controlled teams will mix up a lot more diverse set of pass concepts that are less predictable and more aggressive. I like that. To pay this off, we also tune the AI QB pass read progressions so they're more likely to throw their best receiver in critical situations. That's cool. That's what something someone would do in real life. So that's a cool change. AI QB will do a better job of coverage recognition. This is also going to make it a lot tougher. I wonder if playing user D against the AI is going to make any difference here. Lastly, AI QBs will be more intelligent in making reads for RPO plays. On defense and goal line situations, AI play calling will be much more dynamic now, meaning they won't come out in perfect personnel package based on. That's good. That's something really good, because you could just cheese that. If you were inside the 5-yard line, you could call a run play and then just audible to a pass real quick, and they were in goal line, they were stuck. Clock management, AI controlled teams will be smarter in handling end of half and end of game situations. That's good. Once an NFL quarterback gets back to the line of scrimmage and scans the defense, he has the option to audible to a play he feels is good. So I wonder if smarter quarterbacks, like if you were to have a Peyton Manning in the game, like a Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, guys who can read the defense, if they're going to be better at this or if they're going to be worse at this, and give some variation in the level of skill required for a QB to read the defense. I think that would also makes for some good AI logic. This logic will begin to take place after repeated defensive play calls, so you got to switch up your plays on defense. Can't just call cover 3 against AI anymore, or blitz 7 won't work. AI quarterbacks are much better equipped to deal with all-out blitz plays, and in some situations will change protection by keeping the halfback or tight end to pass block. That's good. Such as single player franchise MUT solos, and make it more difficult to exploit the AI by repeatedly running plays such as double A gap mid blitz. I love how they call out the specific formation and plays, because everyone knows the cheese that those plays caused. When facing pressure, the AI quarterbacks will play more true to their style of play. For example, a scrambling quarterback will look to run with the ball if they can't find an open running lane. That's good. They should scramble. A pocket passing quarterback will look to throw the ball away. A pocket passing quarterback will look to throw the ball away when feeling under pressure, or even take those one-on-one shots down the field to favorable matchups. Playing against Lamar Jackson compared to Tom Brady, completely different experience, which is what it should be. These are good changes. The pressure recognition by the AI quarterbacks will scale by difficulty level, meaning on higher difficulties, it will become harder to get the QB for a sack before he throws the ball. It's already decently hard to get the QB for a sack unless you're cheesing the mid blitz, so I don't know. For Madden NFL 21, AI-controlled ball carriers will have seen improvements. AI-controlled halfbacks are more decisive in their decision-making in running lanes, organic behavior in the field. They'll look to quarterbacks will look to protect themselves and the ball in a realistic way, sliding, etc. We hope you're enjoying the Gridiron Notes. I know I am. Keep them coming. We still have about a month until Madden 21, and I hope we get a lot more updates. We still got a lot of things to cover, such as Ultimate Team, obviously. We hope that they're going to come back and give us some more Gridiron Notes on the connected franchise, or just franchise mode in general. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Overall, I think think these are pretty good changes. These are changes we should have seen for a while, so they are somewhat expected, but I'm going to stick to being an optimist here. I'm going to celebrate the positives. I think this will give more longevity to offline connected franchise. For example, in Madden 20, I don't even want to play it anymore, even though this is the time when I would be playing an offline franchise. And I think these AI and playbook changes will continue to give the game variation and good change throughout the years. So please like the video if you guys enjoyed. Comment below whether you're more excited for the AI changes or the gameplay changes, or tell me if you don't care at all. I'm very curious. Subscribe to the channel for more Madden 20 news and updates as we move on. And I thank you so much for watching. And of course, as always, thanks for stopping by.